Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is't far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings. The seeds of Banquo, kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then. Now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he, in the times past, which held you so under fortune which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you, how you were borne in hand, how crossed, the instruments who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion craze say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue you go for men. as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shuffs, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs, the valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on't.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True.
True, my lord.
So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight, and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour, at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight, and something from the palace. Always thought that I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
God, it's actually a similar ending to, it reminds me of the quote he said about Duncan when he heard the death knell and he said, tomorrow, Duncan, you'll go to heaven or hell. And we've finished this scene again, guys. Speak in a minute, please, guys. With Banquo, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight. Can someone give us a quick summary of what has just occurred? Macbeth is talking to murderers. Why? To kill Banquo and who? His son, Fleance. Why does Macbeth want them dead? Because he thinks because Banquo might be a bit suspicious, could be a good answer. There's another key reason of why he's got to get rid of Banquo. Yep. Can you say that louder, please, so we pick it up on that?
And the three witches said that Banquo would be king.
Yeah, and who else would be king? Banquo's sons as well. So it's like a whole line of kings. Excellent. Thanks, Heath. Let's go backwards a little bit here so it's fresh in our mind. Macbeth has said, I want you to kill them, but I need you to do it away from the palace. Something away from the palace. He says, go and do my dirty work for me. I guess one good thing about becoming a king is that you no longer have to commit the murders yourself. You can just manipulate your murderers to do it for you. He says, don't botch it. What's the word botch mean? We have a show in present times called Botched. So what does botch mean? To screw something up. Thank you so much. So that word's been around for yonks. He's saying do not botch it, as in don't just stab them and leave them gasping for air. They must be killed. Do it away from here. Guys, please note, that's actually probably the 4th or 5th time I've seen murder be called the business. So it's really quite a transactional way. Maybe it's to help Macbeth not feel like such a bad person. Instead of saying murder, you just say the business. He's framed it to the murderers that Banquo was a horrible guy to them. That's what's allowed them to say, yeah, okay, you're right, Macbeth, let's murder Banquo. He framed it that he's been a horrible person to them, saying that Banquo has wronged you. Anything else critical here? Guys, the word issue means child. So he says at the start of this line, this is again another soliloquy. Macbeth says, to be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. So I'm actually going to draw just a crown here. He is saying, being king is awesome, but it's going to be even more awesome when I'm safe. So he's not even satisfied, guys, with being king until he's totally sure no one's going to take it from him. And that's why he says, my fear is Banquo. He says there's none that I fear except Banquo. So clearly, logically speaking, he has to get rid of Banquo. Anything else critical from there? Nothing, that he's become king. Just note that the scene did start with Banquo reflecting on the witches quietly to himself. He is sitting there. Don't forget they both met the witches. So it's natural for Banquo to be thinking, was it true? Yeah. Because what happened did come true. They prophesied that Macbeth would become king. That's happened. So clearly they are speaking truth. He has not run the plan by Lady Macbeth, which is different to their murder of Duncan. When it was killing Duncan, they were in it together. But Macbeth has sort of ditched her a little bit now, and he's made this plan without consulting her. So just to catch you up, that is where we're at now. We're in the palace, and Lady Macbeth comes in. She's unaware at this point that he's now out to kill more people.
A few words.
Madam, I will.
Not had, all spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the world suffer ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honours in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance lives.
But in them nature's copies not etern.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
Okay, let's just quickly recap that chunk. Does she, you speak loudly so we get it on the mic, does she know the plan? No. How do you know that? What, does she have a feeling of what's going to go on? Which bit? Let's go back. Let's have a look. So at the beginning she's feeling off. Is this her talking? Yeah, Lady Macbeth. She says what's done is done. Macbeth says we've scotched the snake but not killed it. So we've injured the snake but we haven't killed it. Who's the snake? Yeah. So the snake is a threat. In this context, it is absolutely Banquo. Absolutely. So it would be anyone he sees as a threat. But he does say, like, things have been terrible. They're having terrible dreams since they killed Duncan. He's saying, in many ways, it'd be better to be dead. It'd better be with the dead than deal with what they're going through in their mental health. Dealing with this is awful. But it's not enough for him to give up. Lady Macbeth tries to calm him here. Be gentle. Come on, like, tonight I need you to be jovial at the party. Get it together. He's talking weird to her. I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Okay. This is a very famous line. Full of scorpions is my mind. And what literary device would you call that? Full of scorpions is my mind. What literary device is that? Who said that? Don't be shy, call it out. Can you say it louder, please? Metaphor? Yes, to the lady in the back. It is a metaphor. I think someone got it over there, but they were a little bit mousy, so they've missed it. Whoever that was. But you're right, it is a metaphor. He's not literally got scorpions in his mind, it's a metaphor. He is in deep anguish. Is it a symbol of guilt? I don't know. At least it's him being extremely uncomfortable. She does say, what's to be done? Like, I don't get you. What are you talking about? And he says, be innocent of the knowledge. So I'm not going to tell you, dearest Chuck. This would be like an affectionate name for her. I'm not going to tell you until you applaud the deed. So he assumes she's going to be stoked with this action. Don't worry about it now until it's over and you'll be applauding me. Interestingly, I've just made a note here. Darkness is noted again. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day. Whenever murder is occurring or he's thinking of murder, There's this sense of wanting it to be shrouded in darkness and away from the harsh, judgmental light of day, because they know it's wrong. Awesome. Let's keep rolling. Here's the murderers. It's about to go down, crew. Good luck to Banquo.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth. He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices in what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveler apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light there, ho.
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are i' the court.
His horses go about
Almost a mile. But he does usually, so all men do, from hence to the palace gate, make it their walk. A light! A light! 'Tis he.
Stand to it!
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Oh, treachery! Flying and fast! Fly, fly, fly! Of his revenge! Oh, slave!
Who did strike out the light?
Was not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled. We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
Guys, they botched it. They totally screwed it up. Little Fleance, then, if you look at your character map, we've now lost Duncan, and now we've lost Banquo. Little Fleance has made it. He has escaped. I have a feeling Macbeth's going to be quite grumpy. Any questions at that point, guys? We're okay, a short little scene. And where are we? We're back to the palace. And we have a banquet prepared. So let's not forget that Lady Macbeth and Macbeth are absolute pros at faking it. Guys, we've already seen them fake it the morning that Duncan was murdered. We've already seen them faking it when Duncan entered the beautiful palace. And he said, "Oh, what a beautiful place. I feel so comfortable here." They are experts at being phony. And you're going to see them at their epitome of that at this dinner.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir. To all our friends, from my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here, I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth, anon we'll drink a measure the table round.
There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo safe?
Aye, my good lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrancer. Now good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
May't please your highness sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed. Were the graced person of our Banquo present, whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance?
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Pleased your highness to grace us with your royal company?
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake that gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not.
Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire authorized by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look. Lo, how say you? Why, what care I, if thou canst nod, speak too? If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What? Quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame!
Blood hath been shed ere now, in the olden time, ere humane statute purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since, too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all,
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt, and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare, I dare, approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros or the Hyrcan tiger, take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit, then protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, and now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by magpies and choughs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that, should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young, indeed.
Okay, cool. Look at that scene. Pretty dramatic scene there. It's a big one. Can someone just describe for me, in your own words, you don't need any evidence, nice and loud for our mic, what has gone on at the dinner, please? Go for it, Billy.
Banquo was murdered, and then the ghost of Banquo comes and sits on Macbeth's chair and scares him. But
Absolutely.
no one else can see the ghost, so they're confused. What's happening?
They are confused. Excellent answer. Does anyone know that Banquo is actually dead right now? Who knows at the moment? Only Macbeth and the murderers. And of course, don't forget Shakespeare's favourite thing to do is that you and I know. So when we know something that a lot of the characters don't, it's dramatic irony. So you may want to make a little note. Dramatic irony, you see it in horror movies a lot, where we know don't walk up the dark stairs because there's something bad there, but the character doesn't know. This increases the tension. It's an extremely embarrassing dinner for who? Can you say that louder, please? Why is it embarrassing for Lady Macbeth? It's got to be louder, please, because I can't even hear you.
The king's going crazy.
And why would that particularly be embarrassing, Annabelle, that the king's going crazy? You don't know? Have a go.
Because he should, it's saying he shouldn't be fit for king.
Totally.
Yeah.
It also has something to do here, guys, with gender. We don't need a king to be an absolute bloody wimp, spooked about an empty chair. Come on now. I reckon Lady Macbeth, man, if she was born a guy, she'd get this right. She's stuck as a woman. She can't take over the plan. She's limited by being a woman, and she's watching her idiot husband fudge it all up. No wonder she can't sleep. Okay, let's go back real quick. Guess what? Not only is he a bit of a wimp, but he's a madman too. He's going back to the witches tomorrow because he's like, enough's enough. I need to go back to the Weird Sisters to find out more about my future. Great plan. Great plan. What's the attitude to witches at this point in the real world in 1606? What's the attitude to witches? Say it louder, please.
Kill them.
Kill them. Why? Nika's giving a thumbs down. Why?
It just seems
They're seen as evil and creepy. So the last thing you want, again, is a king seeking counsel from them. Jeepers. After all that fit, guess what? Macbeth is not crazy enough at this point to not notice that Macduff didn't come. He's pissed. Macduff didn't come. Why? Perhaps he now sees Macduff as his next serpent to kill. He has noticed the absence of Macduff. Why might Macduff not have come to the dinner? Do you think? Have a guess. Is he just busy? He was already going to Barbie that night, so he didn't go. Why might Macduff have chosen not to come?
Might know someone's getting murdered.
Yeah, he might be suspicious of something. I think Macduff is a smart guy. I think he doesn't like where things are at. So he decided not to go. Macbeth says here, it will have blood. They say blood will have blood. Can someone tell me what that phrase means? They say blood will have blood. Yeah, have a go.
It's not over. There's going to be more murdering.
Yeah, that's cool. It's not over. You know, they've set the wheels in motion with this violence. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. Quite an intense scene. This has jumped out at me this time, crew, and I've read this many times and different stuff jumps out at you. Who's he talking to when he says, "You make me strange"? Please say it out loud. Yep. Indeed. No, I think that's exactly who he's talking to there. Whoops. He says, in front of everybody, he says, "You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe. When now I think you behold such sights, and you keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine are blanched with fear." So what's the difference between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth there? Yep, say it loud, please.
She can, like, keep smiling through, yeah.
Whereas he is what?
He's just cracked himself.
He's cracked himself, yeah. And he again says he's white with fear. He's amazed by her, guys. He's like, how is all this stuff going on and you still look normal? And I'm freaking out. But he almost here, guys, this is something I have seen this year, is there's a little bit of blame in that phrase. You make me strange. Is it her fault that he's gone crazy? When he relaxes, we have a gender quote here, "I am a man again," whereas minutes before, fear is seen as a female trait. He says, "I'm the baby." I mean, he's a wimp when he's freaking out. Lady Macbeth does her best to calm the guests. There's nothing to see. He does this all the time. He's done it since he was young. It's just a fit. She does call it a fit. Macbeth is such, I don't want to say an asshole. I don't know. I think he's just gone mad. He's awful. He does a toast to Banquo. That is weird. He's acting. He's fully faking it so much that he does a toast to Banquo, whom we miss. Dramatic irony. We know he doesn't miss him. Nothing else super important there. I'm going to keep going. Macbeth, I will say this, in the opening scene we see this phrase hurly-burly, which really just means chaos. The witches say, "When shall we meet again?" when the hurly-burly is over or something. Hurly-burly means chaos. Macbeth is saying, shit, the world has gone upside down. Because now he's like, we've got dead men rising from the graves now. They are risen again. Nothing else significant here at the moment, I don't think. I mean, you've got a fantastic quote here. Remember, for the exam, you don't have to remember huge quotes. You can remember short ones. She literally says, "Are you a man?" And this is her shtick now, guys. This is her thing, is to keep attacking Macbeth's masculinity. because it's working for her. It's getting her what she wants. Just some imagery here. Just think about it. It's the dead body of Banquo. It's probably quite a vile thing to look at, because how was he murdered? Do you remember? A slit throat, and what else? Is it 19 gashes? So it would be quite a vile ghost to see. Awesome. I think that's it for that. We'll take probably a minute break, guys, and keep rolling. Crew, I am starting with this little screencast briefly of Hecate. Who is Hecate in Macbeth, and why is she angry? She is the mistress of the three witches, or the weird sisters. She's pissed at them for interacting with Macbeth and conjuring a prophecy without the knowledge or consent of her. And she demands to control the next meeting with Macbeth. She is astonished that they chose to mess with him without her permission. Yeah. She's not one of the three witches, but she's above them, mate. Yeah, so she's annoyed at them.
Why, how now, Hecate? You look angrily.
Have I not reason, beldams as you are? Saucy and overbold, how did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now. Get you gone, and at the pit of Acheron meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that, distilled by magic sleights, shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know, security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark! I am called. My little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me. I come with all the speed I may. I come, I come, I come. I come with all the speed I may. I come, I come, I come.
Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if to please you, Fleance killed for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot love the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Ay, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say he has borne all things well. And I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, and please, heaven, he shall not, they should find what 'twere to kill a father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from broad words, and 'cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid, to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honours, all which we pine for now. And this report has so exasperated the king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute "Sir, not I." The cloudy messenger turns me his back, and hums, as who should say, "You'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer."
And that well might advise him to a caution to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England, and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Okay, let's quickly just talk through what the hell's going on. Apologies for no Lennox on your character map. I believe he's just a fellow soldier. Can anyone tell from that? I mean, tell Macduff to hurry up, fly to the court of England, and unfold his message ere to he come. Whew. Make it swift. Because guess what? Since Macbeth took over, the country's been crumbling. People have been suffering. Did anyone catch any evidence of that? Let's have a look up here. Yeah, guys, things have been going really badly. They're not Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are not the only people not sleeping. This is what I heard there is that, look, we need to restore order in Scotland. A lot of people are doubting Macbeth. They can't do anything about it, but they are suspicious of him, and the country has gone to poo. They're saying, if we can restore order, we may again give our tables meat and sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives. The country's gone to poo. It's violent, there's no food, people are uneasy, they're not even sleeping. So they're all talking privately about what the hell are we going to do. Malcolm and Donalbain are where right now? England and Ireland, thank you. So they're talking about Macduff. What the hell's Macduff doing? Well, he's gone to pray to the holy king of, how do I say that word? Northumberland. And he's trying to get their help to come back. He needs an army behind him. Macduff can't just solve this problem single-handedly. He's gone to get counsel to build up an army to go and deal with Macbeth. That's what Macduff's been busy doing. And I was right. Macbeth is pissed that Macduff didn't go to the dinner. He took that as a serious slight against him. Look, Macduff lives in disgrace because he didn't go to the feast. Watch out, Macduff. Oh yeah, my pen stuffed up there, but I wanted to make a note of the fact that everybody is uneasy. My pen just keeps stuffing up there. Everybody is uneasy. Men must not walk late. I guess they're looking behind them. They're scared of getting murdered. Things are strange. Cool. And of course the witches ended with, I thought it was interesting. I guess they can really see the future because they know that Macbeth is coming back to them soon for more counsel. Oh, you're right there, yeah. So let's make haste. She'll be back soon. You're right. I've misread that. So they know she's coming back soon. But they know. Was there any evidence there they know that Macbeth's coming? Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. With Hecate. Yeah. Yeah, that's who. Yeah, that is absolutely who they're talking to. Yep. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. So never sit tight and confidently. You should always be looking behind your back.